The Roman Empire, the greatest of its time. It produced technology, art, and was a great pride for Christians worldwide. But like all empires, it collapsed. Its successor would be the Orthodox Christian Byzantine Empire, centered around Constantinople. But in Central Europe, a new movement began. Catholic Christians wanted to revive the once great Roman Empire. This need to revive the Roman Empire would eventually be known as the Holy Roman Empire. Now, the Holy Roman Empire existed for a very long time, between the years 800 and 1806. I will be covering the parts from the year 1618 and onward. There's a lot to talk about in the 1,000 plus years of the HRE's history. First, we have to talk about the 30 Years' War, which is when Emperor Ferdinand II imposed and forced Roman Catholicism on the citizens of the Holy Roman Empire. This was a bad choice because the HRE was diverse, with many sects of Christianity, and by imposing one of them, he caused conflict. A lot of conflict. So much so that foreign powers intervened, and it turned into a full-scale European war. The 30 Years' War lasted for, 30 years, and destabilized Europe. It ended in the Peace of Westphalia, which, in summary, made the HRE lose the southwestern territories. Now, the Holy Roman Empire only had its German-speaking territory. But the Holy Roman Empire actually didn't look like this. Instead, it looked more like this, a complex system of electorates, bishoprics, duchies, empires, states, and more. The largest of these entities would be Saxony, Brandenburg, Württemberg, Bavaria, Spanish-controlled regions, and the largest of them, the Austrian Empire. But what are the rest of the states? I will explain that right now. In red, we can see the imperial cities and capitals. These were the only place that the emperor actually had significant power and control over. The rest of the states are electorates, grand duchies, duchies, and so on. I can't explain those because there are hundreds of them and it would take hours to explain. The position of emperor was the greatest position to have in the empire. But how was the emperor, a person of so much importance, chosen? In the early years of the empire, the Pope decided the emperor, but later it was changed to an electoral system, not a democracy, but close. It would have 7 states in the empire elect the emperor, but most of the time the Habsburg house, a royal dynasty, would end up in power. Now many of you may be thinking, the HRE is an empire, and that's right, it wasn't. Instead, it was a loosely tied confederation of hundreds of states, and it was extremely dysfunctional and unstable, with internal conflict being present at almost all times. In the simple words of Voltaire, it was nor holy, nor Roman, and nor empire. And he was right. The Holy Roman Empire didn't have any sovereign territory. Instead, it was made of a line/border, which states inside would be considered part of the HRE, and states outside would not. This was confusing because the Austrian Empire had territories both inside and outside the HRE, which made borders even more confusing. Around the early 1700s, Napoleon Bonaparte of France wanted to expand France's territory. He took advantage of the unstable nature of the Holy Roman Empire and launched a military campaign. France was able to take large swaths of territory. This invasion was part of the Napoleonic Wars, which was a group of 7 wars that took Europe by storm. The Napoleonic Wars pitted France against a coalition of Sweden, Prussia, Austria, the UK, and Russia. The Napoleonic Wars changed Europe forever and deserve their own video. Napoleon once again invaded the Holy Roman Empire and installed a sister puppet republic called the Confederation of the Rhine. You see, at the time in Europe there was a large nationalist movement for German unification. When the Confederation of the Rhine was formed, the French positioned themselves as liberators and unifiers of the Germans, but in reality they were just being occupied by the French. At this time, Francis II, who was the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire and leader of the Austrian Empire, announced his abdication as Emperor of the HRE. The reason for his abdication was that the throne was extremely unstable, and Napoleon had pretty much replaced the HRE with the Confederation of the Rhine. Francis II also felt more loyal to Austria than the HRE. His abdication officially declared the end and dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire. With the end of the Holy Roman Empire, that starts the next chapter in our story. After Napoleon's defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, the Congress of Vienna was formed to restore the power balance in Europe. The Congress of Vienna made several changes to Europe's borders. The Austrian Empire gained territory, France lost territory, Switzerland and Piedmont Sardinia were restored, Bavaria and Saxony remained, the Netherlands was given independence, so was Poland, and Prussia gained western territory. The Central Germanic region was still controlled by various duchies and states, but another state was formed, the German Confederation. It was supposed to be more stable than its predecessor, the Holy Roman Empire. But did it satisfy the German nationalist movements? No, because the German Confederation, just like the HRE, actually looked like this. Like its predecessor, a complex confederation of states, duchies, etc. To its credit, though, it was more stable than the HRE. The German Confederation's government had very low control over a state under the German Confederation. The two main powers in the German Confederation were the Austrian Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia. The existence of the empire essentially became a tug-of-war between the two powers over dominance in the Confederation. This rivalry eventually led to the Austro-Prussian War of 1886. This war was fought between Prussia, Italy, and other German states, led by Otto von Bismarck, against the Austrian Empire, Bavaria, Saxony, and other German states led by Franz Joseph. It was a deadly war, but the Prussian side came on top. This led to a domino effect of German unification across Europe, which eventually led to the creation of the German Empire, which satisfied German needs for a unified state.